All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour at Shenanigans. This is Season 2, Episode 1. I'm Nick.
And I'm Riley.
hmm And, yeah, we are back after a very, very long break.
Yeah, a
In case you
very
don't,
long hiatus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, in,
I
in
mean,
case you
I
want to
don't know.
go?
The thing about, like, I don't know, it's kind of like in a band, you know? Um, because the thing that kills so many bands is that they're like, oh yeah, we'll write an album, and then what kills them is by the time they've done a tour, they're so sick of everyone else in the band that they're like, all right, we're done. We're never doing music again, and then their career is short-lived. It's kind of the same thing with doing anything like podcast stuff. Like, I don't know how many people we tried to find, but it's the same damn thing. Like, okay, this person, one person likes him, the other person doesn't. This person, really cool, but so quiet. That like, it's the same thing. You can't like you gotta have someone that you know is you that you just mix well with. You know,
Exactly. I think
it's so frustrating.
we were talking about a lot last night, who we wanted to invite to the podcast, who we wanted to bring back and everything. We realized that in last season there was a lot of good people, a lot of our great friends, but they were just really quiet. They weren't too comfortable on air, so it was just kind of something that we need to work with them with, and maybe even like bring in new people. We're just kind of
Yeah,
deciding that right now. For
yeah,
those of you who aren't familiar with Happy Hour, we did a season last about this time last year actually, and
yeah.
we had a huge audience. Now we had it on my old channel. We had like 150 person live audience, was probably our biggest, and that was great. That was awesome. But now we got our new channel. Happy Hour is on its very own channel. It's no holding back. It's just going to be just Happy Hour now. And yeah, I'm excited. I've been working on some intros and some outros. We did play an intro at the beginning here. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out. One of my favorite parts about that intro is the music, and I'm not sure if you guys could hear it because it's a shared screen. It's not shared music, so I'm not sure. But we'll figure that out in the future. Um,
Yeah.
Riley, do you have a topic for us to start out on?
You know, I don't. I'm gonna let you go ahead and
Oh,
kick off.
great, great,
I mean, if
great.
you have like, I mean, I have stuff that I think would be better to work into. Do you have any just
Alright,
anything raw?
let's see. Let me check my notes. Just,
Okay.
give me a
Oh,
second
okay.
here.
Scribe.
And by
Uh-huh.
notes, I mean the text that I sent you earlier.
Oh,
Hmm.
ooh.
We'll start out with some
Mm-hmm.
softball questions.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Okay, okay. Like a lightning
how about we
round.
talk about something up and coming? I mean, let's see. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. You doing anything special?
Oh, God. Oh, man. It was such a fight tonight. So this evening, so my aunt, my mom's younger sister, and her husband came down um, this afternoon with their daughter, and so there was probably like 10 of us sitting in my living room, and we're thinking, what are we gonna do? Because most of us were born and raised Irish Catholic, and so we figured, okay, we'll go to midnight mass. But of course, my aunt just so happens to not be, and their whole family isn't, and so it just things got very dicey very quickly because I said, okay, well I've been planning to go to midnight mass, and then my grandma's like, oh no, it's too late for me, and I was like, oh God, like, and then someone was like, oh, let's go to a Presbyterian church, and I was like, dude, like I'm Catholic, I'm not going to a Presbyterian church on midnight mass, like, are you high, dude? It was just, and the thing is, like, I get like be religiously open in public, but like in the comfort of my own home, like I'm Catholic, dude. Like I'm not going to a a Buddhist church to honor their Christmas. Like, no, I'm going to celebrate what I believe in. Like, I don't walk into, like, a mosque and hand out Bibles. Like, that's ridiculous, dude. Like, everyone was, like, she was getting all offended, like, "Oh, how dare you, like, have a religion that's so, like, mainstream, man." Like, it was ridiculous, dude. Like, and that's what bugs me so much. Like, oh my God, I get being respectful in public, but in the comfort of your own home, like, dude, I'm not gonna sit there and be, oh yeah, let's go to like a Hindu, let's go to a Tibetan monastery and see how they live it up on Christmas or whatever they celebrate this time of year. Like, dude, no, I want to go to midnight mass at 11 o'clock, not 8 o'clock. Like, it's called midnight mass. Like, I don't know. I mean, so we were planning on going, most of us are planning on going to midnight mass, and for those of us that are either too tired or don't think it's, hipster, it's Tumblr enough to participate in religious affairs, they will be staying home. What does your Christmas Eve look like?
Very, very different.
Explain.
Yes. So we're not the biggest religious family out there.
Nice,
We're
nice.
not anti-religious, not in that way. We're just like we respect all religions, but we just kind of give and
Nice.
take. It's kind of hard to explain. We don't go to church or anything. That's something that I kind of feel guilty about, but it's we won't talk too much about that now. Christmas for me, Christmas Eve. Basically, on Christmas Eve, I always go over to my grandma's house, and we have all our cousins, all our grandparents, my family and everything, and we all have dinner at my grandma's house, open presents, kind of, and everything, and it's just a fun, kind of relaxed evening, and then on Christmas Day, we kind of switch off. Either one time, like last year, we went up to LA to see my dad's grandparents, and to have Christmas with them, and my uncle, my dad's, like my cousins and stuff like that, my dad's brothers and sisters, and so this year they're coming down here, and they're going to be having Christmas here. We're cooking and everything like that, so it's kind of just going to be a bigger Christmas Eve than actual Christmas. Christmas is just going to be 6 people, where Christmas Eve is probably going to be like 16. So, but it'll be fun.
Oh,
I'm
my
excited
God.
for that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. This was the first year actually around like Thanksgiving time that I wasn't as stoked as I thought I would be for like the holidays. Like I was thinking about it, and for a while I was like, oh yeah, winter break, man, and Christmas. And then I realized the only reason I give a crap about winter break is because I get 2 weeks off of school. Like, I mean, no offense, but like I couldn't give a crap about Christmas Day. Like, I want the 2 weeks off of school, dude. Like, I'm so fried right now. Like, I can't imagine going to a year-long school where it's a pros and cons. Like, they get like a month and a half for Christmas, but then it's still a year long. I mean, I would be so absolutely fried.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
1 month into school, I always come back from summer and I'm so enthusiastic. Like, yeah, I get to see my friends. And then after the first week, I'm like, oh, God, I wasn't that bad. And then after a month and a half, I'm like, oh, shit on me. And then like 3 months in, oh, my God, it's just, it's awful. It's just awful. I can't like school as hard as I try. I don't know if it's like the periods are an hour and a half. Like, I don't care if that prepares you for college. I like 50-minute periods because that's just long enough.
I feel like that'd be kind of short. 50 minutes, I don't know.
That's the point. You're making my point. It's a routine. 50 minutes is just enough time for me to start to get engaged in each class without falling asleep.
Exactly, but you show up, you turn in your homework, and that's it. You don't learn anything, I feel like. You need that hour and a half to actually go over lectures. Because like in math class, everyone's trying to keep you after the bell because you're not finished with notes, so you have to stay like 2 or 3 minutes into lunch because you're not finished or whatever. If we only had 50-minute periods, that's 40 more minutes of class that we wouldn't have.
Oh my god, dude, you're such a nerd. Oh my god. No, it's like, no. Think about it. Think about it like this, all right? An hour and a half. You go into the period. You turn in your homework. That you socialize. The teacher tries to like get everything together. You turn in your homework. We'll say that takes up a whopping 10 minutes. Because no class starts right when the bell rings. No one wants to get into it right when the bell rings. So unless you're Lisa Kasten.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
We're not talking about her. I hate that.
So we're down to like I don't know 100 or an hour 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And then you go lecture for we'll say 45 minutes. Then you hit this hiatus where you're at about 1 hour 5 minutes in, so you don't have enough time to wanna. I don't know. You don't have enough. Like you're so fried by then that you want to take a break, but you still have 25 minutes to kill. So the teacher will just do some BS like, "All right, talks amongst yourselves. I have to check my email." Like your email is about curing erectile dysfunction. Like we both like. When Mr. Unwin decides to talk about some economic news...
You mean John? John?
Yeah, John. Right, John. Right. When we're taking notes and he's like brain break and brings up Ferguson, that has nothing to do with the freaking economy, dude. Like, he's just as fried as we are.
Exactly.
He just wants to take his mind off of econ. Because no one can sit there and talk about economics for a straight hour and a half and be super into it. Like, right, so like it's the same thing for teachers. Like you hit that hour and 5 minute mark, and you're just like, oh god, what the shit am I gonna do for 25 minutes? No, we'll make it 20 because the last 5 minutes people are packing up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you have a 50-minute period, it's glorious. People will be rushing, turn our homework, then you only have 40 minutes. You lecture for 30, then you ask questions for 5, and then you're gone. It's wunderbar.
Maybe.
Maybe? What's the problem?
I don't know, because I just feel like every class that I've taken, or maybe not every class, but a lot of classes I've taken, we use that whole hour and a half. And if we don't have that hour and a half, basically every single math class I've taken, I'll grant you this: no English class have I ever been like, oh wow, I really need this hour and a half.
No
every
English class,
I'm just like, get me the fuck out of here.
No,
like,
no English class.
Except for Mr. Brown, AP Lang.
AP Lang?
That guy was awesome. I liked him.
Yeah, he was awesome, but we just talked about rhetorical praise the whole time. Like, it wasn't...
Yeah. That's the reason why I liked it, because it wasn't like a true English class. It was just
I know.
BS English, you know?
No English class have you ever needed an hour and a half.
Definitely.
No elective. No... Really, no. I mean,
it depends on what position. Like, see, for me, when I was director of CCACV, I needed that hour and a half. We'd get back with 5 minutes left, and we'd download.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but no other. Like, that's just like kind of a specific example. Basically, I would in that situation, I'd be the only person that needed that hour and a half. Every other person in any other elective wouldn't need that hour and a half.
Well, what are you doing for the entire... Okay, break down your advanced video film period for me.
All right, so the first, 5-10 minutes, we have to, do the pledge, watch the announcements or whatever, all that stuff.
Does anyone actually stand and put their hand over their heart for the...
Mr. Rings makes us.
Okay, good.
So you guys, I mean, you're not forced to say the pledge of allegiance, but you are forced to stand, and you are forced to be quiet if you don't want to say the pledge of allegiance.
Good. Because I think we've become too disrespectful toward our own country.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Okay, so that takes about 10 minutes. And then afterwards, we get all our gear, get our camera, tripod, audio, all that stuff, get everyone organized. We walk out to the location where we're going to film, set everything up, get the shot set up, and then each location we probably spend 15 or 20 minutes at, just because everyone you do it a couple of times just because one, they're not going to get their lines right the first time because
Do you guys
they're
actually
just not good
wait?
at that.
What do you mean lines? Do you guys have an entire script, word for word?
Yeah, like when I was director, when we were doing like the anchors, like the anchors for CCA TV, each segment would have a script to kind of like transition to the next thing. Admittedly, they probably weren't the best. It was kind of hard.
Do you guys
I mean,
script in all those? Wait, dude, do you guys script in all those awkward pauses and stuff? In the
yeah. See, that's the thing. So that's one reason why I felt kind of helpless, is because I was never allowed to touch the script. I had final discretion, but basically mine was just like I could say, "Oh, I don't like this," and everyone would be like, "All right, that's cool. Let's film
Wait,
it."
so who wrote the script if you didn't even have like, if you couldn't touch it, who wrote the script?
Basically, the two hosts would write the script,
Oh
and
God.
then yeah, I know, right? And then they'd send it
Oh
on
no.
to they'd send it on to Rains, and Rains would check it out.
Marky
And
Mark.
half the time he'd be like, "Oh yes, this is really good," but instead I have my own script. Do that. And some of his scripts were really good, and other ones were just like, but it doesn't make sense,
No,
and we'd
Mark
just be really
Raines doesn't produce
confused.
good. Let me tell you what Mark Raines does to script.
Hey, hey,
Okay.
hey, hey. Well, let's just keep this calm here. He could be watching. He's not, but he could be.
No, no. If he's watching, then up yours, dude. All right.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
No.
whoa, whoa.
Okay.
Down low.
All right.
I do not
Listen.
condone this.
But no, no. Okay. What happened was that my junior year I couldn't get acting one for until the Friday of the first week, so I was stuck in advanced video film. And Mr. Raines was like, "Oh, how do we come up with an innovative idea to introduce Mr. Mueller?" To which I reply, "Oh, why don't we introduce him like one of those Billy Mays style ads and have like a get two for 19.99 plus shipping and handling, in fine print." And he was like, "Huh, no, I don't really like it." And then Friday, I finally got a push second period and acting third period, and that very first CCA TV. How do they introduce Mr. Mueller? Billy Mays style.
Yeah.
Couldn't even give me the satisfaction of saying, "Yes, Riley, that is a great idea. Let's go get lunch." All right? No, no. He sat there and was like,
Hashtag Marcus 711. What?
all right, lowballed me. All right? Like, dude, I can never tell if he likes me or if he hates me. I took two classes with him, and he always
That's
smiled and was like, "Oh yeah, your ideas are good." But he was saying it like he was like, "Your ideas are good," and I was like, "Well, I don't know what you're saying." And he was just
yeah.
like, and then he gives you that weird smirk. He's like, "Hmm." Like
Okay,
that.
now see, I've had him basically, I think every single year. Yeah, no, I've had him at least one class with him every single year, plus conservatory for the last 2 years. And so I see this guy at least an hour and a half a day, usually 3.5 hours.
Oh my
And
god.
I still I cannot understand when he's joking and when he's being serious. Because he's
Yeah.
either really fucking pissed off at you, or he's like trying to make a joke, and there's no in between. You have no idea. It's either super sarcastic or super angry, and it's really hard to tell which one is which.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. It's like a fine line where I'll see him in the hallways, and then he will say hi to me first. So I figure, oh, he knows who I am. He must like me. Wrong. Maybe. I don't really know. He'll just say like, "Oh hey," and then sometimes he'll even call me by name and say, "Oh hey Riley, how's it going?" I was like, "Oh good, good, Mr. Raines, how are you?" And he's like, "Good, good," and he'll smile at me and we'll have like a normal person conversation for a few minutes. And then some days I look at him and he's just like walking through like the quad and he looks super upset. And I can never really tell if he's just like got the world's driest humor or if he's just like dealing with a lot of stress or something, or if he's just like fed up. I can never really tell. He's an enigma.
You see, that's the thing. So he does. I forget what the I forget what the thing is. Watch his TED Talk. It's actually really good.
Wait,
And
he did a TED Talk?
yes, he did a TED Talk, and he
Really?
talked. Yes, and he talked about how he had this like his some like disease or ailment or something where he would stutter all the time, and it was
Oh,
getting yeah
I heard
that
about
thing.
that.
And so now he's taking some medicine, has something to do with
Oh.
Parkinson's. It's like a medicine that's usually used for Parkinson's, but he's taking or something like that, which is helping him get better, and he is huge improvement. But the only
Oh,
thing
okay.
is that
Okay.
the main side effect from uh, that
Medicine.
medicine, thank you, is he's just really tired all the time. That's what he said. He's just like
Oh,
he's
really? It's fatigue?
always tired. He's extremely fatigued, and so I feel like part of it, it's not like
Uh,
his fault. Like he doesn't want to be angry or he doesn't want to be just
yeah.
like
No,
kind of
I
done with.
get
It's like there's a lot of time where he screams at people, and it's like one that's I mean that's bad, but at the same time it's like you got to catch him some slack or cut him some slack.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
can't do anything about it. Like he was just born with it or got it or whatever. But it's kind of a hard thing to do because there's a lot of moments where you hate him. You're just like, stop bitching me out. Like, why are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
shoving all these terrible ideas down my throat? Like,
Right,
come
right.
on. Then there's another time where it's just like, I feel bad for him, and at the same time, it's just like, this guy is usually right. Even though he's not right this time, maybe I should just kind of roll with it and let it play out, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a little more sense. I didn't
Yeah.
know he did it. I didn't know he did a TED Talk.
Yeah,
All right.
no,
Well,
it was really good. I really liked it.
if you were gonna do a TED Talk, what would be your topic?
Oh my god, dude, hitting with the hard ones.
Yeah, dude. Barbara Walters style.
I have no idea. Let me think about that. How about you take this one first?
Okay. If I were to do a TED Talk, this is where I would introduce the campaign I'm gonna run on for president. When I decide to run for president, I am not going to run on gay rights or gay marriage I am going to run on bandwidth. All right? I'm tired of terrible internet. All right? Look at this. Okay? I don't know how much I pay AT&T a month. Well over $100. I mean, my
Why?
wallet's evaporating, and I have in my home at all times a whopping 2 bars of service at best. Sometimes no service. That's a bunch of horse shit, mate. Two
See,
bars of service? What am I paying you for?
what
That's
I think
ridiculous.
is ridiculous. So all around my house, I'll have different coverage. Like I will like I'll be in my room. Left side of the room, 4 bars. Right side of the room, 1 bar.
Right? It's
It's
so
literally it's just so
frustrating.
spotty. But the thing is that what I found actually is that AT&T is so much better than Verizon. Like I don't.
Really? You're the
That's just
only
what
one
I've
to say
heard.
that.
From the reason why I say that is because a couple of my friends have Verizon, and we've like been
Oh
in the
wait,
same
do you have
place.
AT&T?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
AT&T.
same, same. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'll take my AT&T phone and their Verizon phone, put them right together, and we'll see like okay which one has service. And places where I'll have 3 bars, they'll have no bars in places like that.
Really?
I maybe see what I think is that like Verizon's always talking about like oh we're the best, we have the most areas or whatever.
Propaganda.
Exactly, but maybe it's just like in my geographic location or whatever. AT&T is
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's just what I found out. And that's kind of like everywhere where anywhere I go in San Diego, I always find the AT&T. Not only is it like more reliable in terms of like power, strength of service, but it's a lot faster. I guess those kind of go hand in hand. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, for me, the problem is that like there are so many companies, such as Microsoft. That's a big company. Their
yeah,
headquarters, or a lot of their tech support headquarters, is based in places like India and Bangladesh. Because over there, for what we pay here, for them it's cheaper, and they get full internet. Like they will get the full service they actually pay for. They're paying for 5 bars and all this junk. If they're paying a lot for the nose, they actually get 5 bars of service. Like over here, all these companies are so competing and stuff, and so it's all about profit and like who's ahead in the race. That they're like, okay, well we're gonna cornhole all the people that actually pay for internet and give them a whopping 2 bars. Like that's ridiculous. I'm tired of it. Like no, it's not that hard. Like I'm tired of your greed. I want the 5 bars I pay you for. Like opportunity cost. Like sometimes I'm at school and I have a
Opportunity
walk.
cost, really? You're gonna say you're gonna bring opportunity cost for
I'm gonna
every
go
single
there.
thing?
Listen
No,
to me.
he said he uses opportunity cost for everything. Like it apparently it applies to
It
every.
applies to
What
everything.
time is it? I don't know. Check your phone. Opportunity cost,
There we
man.
go. No, I will be in the garage, freezing cold, and it's like, oh, 4 bars of service. Well, I'm not gonna sleep in the garage. I come in my bedroom, 1 bar of service. Are you kidding me, dude? Like, no. If I'm president, I'm running on. I want bandwidth for all. I want.
Bandwidth
I
for all.
want. I want strong internet. I'm tired of playing Call of Duty and like going on a mad kill streak. I'm like, ooh, UAV, ooh, Pred missile. I'm about to get my Harrier strike, and then it's like migrating host for 10
Oh,
minutes. I'm
yeah.
like, oh my god.
I feel you.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Like, dude,
god.
that was what stopped me from getting my first nuke. It was ridiculous.
Really?
I remember everything to the last detail. I was playing on Rundown. I had the FAMAS,
Wow.
red dot
This is
sight.
crazy.
Alright? The FAMAS on Modern Warfare 2, on the 360, I had the FAMAS red dot. I was on a 22 kill streak in my AC-130. What do I get? Migrating hosts, lost connection error message.
Wow. That sucks.
I felt like Kevin Ware when his shin went through his leg. I was just, like I mean, all I want is bandwidth. That's all I want in this life.
Yeah,
I just want strong internet.
What I
That's
think
all
is ridiculous is like the countries in like I think South Korea is the one that has the highest internet speed in the
Really?
world.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
exactly.
How?
And the thing is, it's like
That's nuts.
don't quote me on this, but it's something. It's like a download speeds of like a gigabyte a minute or something like that.
Oh my
Less
god.
than that. And
That's
I'm thinking like,
ridiculous.
wow, I can download a movie 1 gigabyte like 20 minutes here, which is
Yeah.
like
Oh my god.
their internet is insanely fast over there, and that's why I mean, there's a lot of people. I believe it or not, there's actually people that move to South Korea for this reason, like professional gamers, and believe it or not, there's a such thing as a professional
Really?
gamers. I know, right? And they
Oh my
move
god.
over to South Korea. They're like, we're gonna play World of Warcraft all day over here. And
Oh my
we're
god.
gonna have the best connection ever. I'm just like,
Oh my god.
all right, you do you, bud.
So are you also running on the same campaign as Bandwidth? What's your TED Talk?
My
topic?
TED Talk. I feel like my TED Talk would be like really deep, like something about life. I mean, I'd try to make it really deep, and it would probably just like fail. But I'd make it like intense. Like people, like they'd be like, all right, yeah, this guy's got a good TED Talk, and at the end, it just kind of like hits you, and they're like, whoa,
Mind blown.
my life makes sense now. I'm gonna go do that thing I was thinking about, and now I'm so inspired I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna send an email to this kid and be like, you're awesome, you helped me do this, and I'm just gonna be like, that's right.
I feel like what you're talking about is Challenge Day. Like,
yes, Challenge Day was awesome. I like Challenge Day.
Like, I feel like for them, it's so hard because they're like trying to like hit home and make it all deep and stuff. But if they mess it up, then it's a huge flop. And it's like there are two kinds of inspirational speakers. There's the inspirational speaker who levels with you and makes things out to be realistic and is like, no, I'm not a victim. Shit happens. I'm not a victim. I'm just a stronger person for it. And you're like, huh. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna start doing me and deal with it, Like I'm gonna grow up, And then you mature, and then of course you become a better person. And then the people that are like, oh yeah, Like, oh yeah, I'm such a victim, and all these bad things that happen to me. Let's make it a competition to see how many terrible things have happened to me, and how many terrible things have happened to you. And then you just walk out and you're so bummed. You're like, God, I'm just gonna go tell everyone I know I love them, because, like, what if I die in, like, a minute? You know? Like, I'm gonna go tell the lunch lady. She's like, okay, that'll be $4.95. You're like, I love you! I love you! And she's
So
like,
wait, so let me get this straight. So did you like Challenge Day or not?
I liked it. I did. I liked it both times.
Really?
I felt like
I've only done it once. I want to do it again.
I liked it both times, but I felt the second time around that I was more conscientious to it. I felt
Mhm.
that there were certain parts that were just kind of like purely downers. Like like the thing about Challenge Day, as great as it is, it's so invasive that there's some stuff that people just might not be like willing to share. Like that cross
Yeah.
the line game. Like I know for me, if I had been like abused physically by my parents as a child, I wouldn't want to cross the line and let everyone know in the room that I was hit as a kid. Like that's really like
That's what. See, that's the thing. I think they
they go a little too
maybe.
deep sometimes.
Yeah. Well, not that. What I was gonna say is I think that they try to make it more vague than that, and so maybe they are talking about abuse. Maybe they're saying, "Have you ever been hit by someone you love?" They don't say like, "Have you ever been hit by your parents?" Because then if someone's crossing the line, people are going to take note of that and be like, "All right,
Well,
let's
yeah,
tell
yeah.
them about
But
it."
they say
They
like, have you
can,
ever lost a loved one in a DUI? Like
and
that's
I mean,
pretty specific.
exactly. But I mean, that doesn't say like it's your parents, it's your brother,
Well,
it's your
yeah, but
sister.
that's still like to me that still
I
struck me as like I don't want people to know that I've had to go through like
Well,
so
see,
I don't
that's
know.
the whole thing. That's the whole thing. That's what Challenge Day is about. That's what it's. The whole thing is to create like a whole new environment almost where people are willing to share that stuff and
Well, I
people are
thought
like
challenge day, the
about
whole point was the challenge was to drop your water line, right? Like, let
yeah.
yourself, like, no judgments and be an open-minded person. But that doesn't, but being open-minded isn't synonymous with telling everyone all the shit that's happened to you in your life that's, like, made you cry. Like, I don't want to have to tell you that my grandmother died and how it crushed me to be, like, I don't have to tell you that to be open-minded. You know,
Mhm.
like honestly, like I mean, I as much as I love Challenge Day, I like the parts where it was more voluntary, like where they say, oh, what's like they choose you and like you can come speak on the mic and say, this is my name, this is an embarrassing story that happened to me, and it's like
Yeah.
fun, and then you can say, this is what I want to do when I grow up, like instead of the stuff where it's like, oh, I go around in a circle and tell us something that makes you feel sad, because then like it. I don't know, because I feel like it's just like almost you're looked down upon, you're frowned upon if you don't say something that's really like dark.
See that? No. See, that's what I'd say. I mean, I coming from me, like I live in Carmel Valley. I've lived in a great neighborhood for all my life. I don't really have any like huge problems. My parents are still married. I've never been like injured or in a car accident or anything. Like nothing really as bad has happened to me. I've had a really privileged life, and I'm really
Count your
fortunate for
blessings.
that. And
Same,
I
same.
do every day. And so, I never really felt the urge to like. I mean, I never felt the urge to say anything bad happened. Partially because nothing really bad has
Yeah,
happened,
yeah,
but also like I don't know. I think our like with your family group and everything. I feel like the your family group kind of like understands you're supposed to be friends and everything. You're supposed to
yeah,
be a
yeah,
family, and so there's. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on which people are in your group or what
yeah.
it consists of, but. Uh, I never really felt forced to do anything. Mine was
Okay.
just kind of like share what you want, share what you are, and
Oh,
what
okay.
honestly most of my stuff like that I shared, it wasn't really about me. It was more like I hope that like after the cross the line game, like one of my friends, I'm not gonna say who crossed the line for something, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this guy crossed the line.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. And so I talked about it in my family group. I was just like I hope that he was going across and talking about like a friend or a family member. Like, I hope this didn't happen to him, and that's what kind of
Yeah,
hit
yeah,
me the hardest. Like, I'm kind of like, I didn't have a story of my own, so I was kind of like, I'm worried for someone else. And I don't think you didn't really have to share anything like that. You could say like, hey, I know stuff happens, shit goes downhill, but look on the bright side. And that's where kind of the experience differ from person to person, just because
yeah,
what you
yeah,
bring to it and what you come out with. And most of it is what you bring into it. If you don't bring an open mind to it, then you're
yeah,
just gonna have a shitty time.
yeah.
But
I
if you
mean,
bring an open mind to it, then
yeah,
it just kind of depends on how you approach it and how your
yeah,
background has shaped you,
yeah,
because it can
totally.
go well or not. It
Yeah,
really depends on.
I really did enjoy it the
Uh,
first time, and like the second time too. Uh, the first time, I guess the difference was that the first time, I was just a student there. The second time, I was one of their student leaders, I think. And
I've heard of. Do you know if they have the? Do you know if they have Challenge Day again this year?
I'm assuming they do.
All right,
It's
'cause if they do, I might want to go back and be one of the student leaders.
yeah, yeah,
I've only done it once, so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
It's
as up there as you.
yeah. So last year I was the student leader, and the only huge difference was just you carried more responsibility, as in like you had to be more of a I guess more. I don't want to say more of a mentor, but you have to be more of a resource, as in if everyone shares something and it gets really real really fast, they kind of look to you to be like the, I guess I want to say like a mediator, like the what's next person,
Mhm.
like I felt like there was just I felt maybe just more responsibility, like I couldn't just like I had to like like facilitate it more, and it
Yeah.
just felt kind of weird to me because it just like what I thought was like okay we should just kind of you know, take this as a moment of silence and like, like really acknowledge this. Like other people in the group, I guess, thought maybe I just didn't have a good family group for me. Maybe not. I don't know. It was the first year. It was really, really solid, and I remained really close friends with everyone in my group. Second time around, not so much.
Yes.
Luck
Yeah.
luck of the draw, I guess.
I had a really good family group. I mean, we would like, I think it was like 2 or 3 months after Challenge Day, we all met up and had lunch together and stuff, and it was all
Oh,
great and
okay.
everything.
That's rad.
Yeah, and I was really fortunate to have a really good family group. I'm still really good friends with a lot of the people there.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely like your Challenge Day experience. A lot of it is what you bring into it, but that's the other thing. It really depends on the other people there.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, the people there can make it better or worse. The people in your family group, that's what really makes it or breaks it. If you
Yeah.
don't have good people in your family group, you're probably not gonna
Like
leave with a good
I would
experience.
want if I were to run it, I think I would run it a smidge bit differently.
How so?
Uh, like the intro games, did you do that thing where it's just like every time they played music you had to go find a new chair or something or whatever that was?
Yeah.
I thought that was just kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is that they're just trying to do stuff that's kind of like easy, almost like stupidly easy, where they can like
Yeah,
get people to know each other and get people comfortable and get
yeah,
people like. So when you first start out, you're just like, what to expect. Like you have no idea what you're doing. And so
right,
when you finally get there and you're like, all right, this isn't so bad. And
yeah,
basically the first half of the day is kind of like getting comfortable. And you're just
yeah.
kind of chilling, relaxing, playing all these fun games.
Like
When it
the
starts to get
way,
when it starts to get serious is when the like instructor people they start like actually talking about their lives and everything, and
yeah,
that's what kind of makes it like more intense. But at the same time, you're not sharing anything. They're sharing stuff. You're getting comfortable with
right,
the idea of sharing stuff, and
yeah,
so
yeah,
then you have lunch with your family group. You're becoming good friends, and then afterwards, that's where it kind of hits you hard, cross the line,
yeah.
all that stuff.
Um, yeah, I guess. The big thing I would change is that I would rather do a workshop. Like, I would rather sit in a giant circle
Hmm.
and everyone can share something, whatever they please, and then we have people like try to offer helpful solutions or relatable experiences and kind of say like, hey, you're not alone, instead of just one person says their piece, another person says their piece, then it's kind of sad. We hug next person. Like I just felt like breaking up into groups was just really isolating because like if we're all supposed to be the big family together, then why are we separating into groups? Like I feel like it would be
I've
better. We
never
all
thought of
just
it
went.
like that. That's a good point.
Like for me, it would just be more helpful. Of like, oh, if I said, okay, well, I feel really vulnerable because I got out of a relationship and it really hurt me, and then someone said, oh, I've been there before, and you just have to think of it like this, and this is how I coped with it. And I'd be like, oh, huh. Well, maybe I'll try that, and it'll make me stronger. I'd rather do that than separate and then do kind of busy work games and then
Yeah. Well, I
separate to
think
eat
the thing is
lunch.
that
I'd rather
you're
do
a
that.
very social and outgoing person. There's a lot of people that aren't gonna like want to share everything with a huge group, but
True.
it's
Yeah.
something, especially like that big. Like, oh, I mean, it
True.
doesn't
Okay.
sound that big to like me or you, but like, oh, I just got out of a breakup and I don't know how to cope. That's not something that they want to share with like however
Maybe
like
not.
200,
Yeah.
250 people in the room. Even with like the 6 people in their family group, they're
Yeah.
not too
But that's
stoked to share it, but they probably will
well,
just
that's
because it's less
partially on
people.
them. Like, don't sign up for challenge day if you're not willing to share.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's
That's what it
it's
is.
not like you can reject them. Like maybe they are the ones that need this the most, and
Yeah.
it's not really fair to say like, hey, no, you can't do that. That's not
Oh no,
good.
I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying like if you know deep inside, like if you know yourself, like if you like hate people, don't decide to sign up for a challenge day where you're like if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah, I can see
if you
that.
don't if you're not comfortable talking about anything. Well, challenge day is all about looking inside and reflecting. So maybe it's not your cup of tea, just a
Hmm.
thought, you know? I mean,
Yeah, no, I
you're in
agree.
a
I
giant
agree.
room with a bunch of people. It's going to be pretty social. It's social from the minute you walk in. So if you have a problem with that, then like maybe just go get like a private therapist or talk to a parent or a teacher or a friend, but or you write in a journal. But you know that's partially on you to decide. You know, like you're not comfortable literally at all, then it's probably not a good call.
See, that's where I would kind of have to disagree. I think that, I mean, I know it's probably not the most ideal situation, like, oh, someone who's socially awkward coming into something like this.
Well, I
Like,
don't mean socially awkward. I mean like
well,
someone who's introverted, like they purposely don't like talking to people.
okay, all right, introvert, doesn't like talking to people. Even someone like that. Like, Challenge Day, the whole point of it is to help people that have problems like this and to really, like, get people to know each other, get people more comfortable. Maybe those people that are having those problems are super introvert. I'm not saying that introvert is a bad thing. I mean, it can be a good thing too. But if you don't want to, if you're an introvert and you don't want to be an introvert, this is kind of the thing for you because this kind of helps you out, gets you more comfortable, and
Okay.
that's kind of what Challenge Day is made for people to kind of make their lives
Uh,
better.
okay. I see what you're saying.
So
I guess I'm
maybe,
saying, yeah, I guess I'm saying it's more like if someone, like, I guess what I'm saying is like I mean challenge day is wonderful, but if like you're introverted and you're happy with like not talking to people, like you like being alone and don't like sharing, then I wouldn't recommend it just because like it's not like oh you're socially awkward and you want to become an extrovert. It's like oh I like keeping to myself, so I'm not gonna
yeah,
do it. But
yeah,
you're
I think
happy
that's
with that
fine.
choice.
And if they're exactly, if they're happy with that, let them be,
Yeah,
more power to you. And yeah, this
yeah,
wouldn't be the thing for them to sign up for.
yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
I
Should
have a new
we?
topic. I have a new
Oh,
topic.
okay. All right. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I want to talk. I want to put a spin on Ferguson. What do you think
Hmm.
the police force in this country is too strong or has too much power?
See, I'm not going to say that they're too strong or too much power, too powerful, but I do not like the militarization of the police force. I don't think that. I mean, there. I mean, there's a difference between police force and like the defense, the Department of Defense and everything. There's
Right.
people doing drug raids and stuff like that who have these M4s and they
Yeah.
have like all this heavy armor. They're using these combat vehicles, these Humvees and whatever, uh, with because they need them. Because
Yeah.
these people like they have a lot of guns, have a lot of power behind them, and so to go in and to bust them or whatever to get all the drugs,
Yeah.
then it's like you kind of need that. But for something like this, I think that I mean obviously this Ferguson issue it's a huge deal and it's going to
Yeah. Yeah.
continue to be a huge deal. Hopefully, it kind of keeps being talked about because it's something that we kind of really need to settle in our country. That's kind of gone, I wouldn't say unnoticed, but unattended to for the last 50 years, 60 years since the civil rights movement. And so uh, it's one thing to like uh, to want to protect to protect yourself and protect the people around you, but to bring all these like advanced weapons and everything to a civilian street where people are protesting, it gets people scared, and that's kind
Yeah.
of like I don't feel like it was just like the protesters were on one level and the police tried to match the level of it. I think that the protesters showed up, the police were on this level, and they were kind of like freaking out, and their instant reaction was like, "Oh, we gotta go survive. We gotta get on this level. We gotta start breaking shit." So that brings me to another thing. I am all for protesting, peaceful protesting. Get your ideas out. That's a great thing to do. But for the people that are using this as an excuse just to break into stores and
Yeah. I don't.
terrorize like the whole city,
Peaceful
like
protesting
fuck
kind
you.
of went
Like
out the
that's just
window.
like I
Yeah.
that pisses me off so much. It's just like because it's a very touchy subject, and it's something that it's hard to do. Just
Yeah.
like protest and not look like a dick, and just like because there's a really fine line between whining and saying like, hey, this is a
Yeah.
real issue. We gotta talk about this,
Yeah.
and this is something we need to discuss.
Well. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the people that are like breaking windows and basically the people that aren't peaceful protesting are the ones that give peaceful protesting a bad name. And then
Yeah.
you have things like I forget what they were called. There's the people that were on rooftops. There's like the Watchful Eye or something like that. People just like private
Neighborhood watch.
militia, neighborhood watch. It was like a private militia, armed militia that was
Watchmen.
no, it was fuck. I'll look it up in a minute. But
Yeah.
they
Whatever.
were
Whatever.
they were armed on top of storefronts and are on top of the roofs of stores, and
Uh-huh.
basically anyone who would try to go and ransack or attack or
Mhm.
loot any of the stores, they'd kind of just like, hey, you might not want to do that.
Oh my
Chick,
God.
chick. And
Yeah.
so I mean, I think they had good intentions, but that's also something else to escalate the things. Let me look up what their name was.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a regional thing. Like, if I live in South Central Los Angeles, New York City, Detroit, or like Compton, I want the police to be armed pretty heavily since it's basically grade A Darwinism and just absolute jungle survival of the fittest. And basically, drug lord kingpins and whoever has the most amount of men and firepower wins the war. So when there were people doing drive-bys and like gangs and Bloods and Crips, yeah, I want the police to be pretty heavily armed. If they have a Humvee, I'm all for it because there's gang violence and stabbings and stuff going. Like that's some scary shit. Like I don't want that.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. I think that when there's a need, then go ahead, use the force. If you need to use force in
It's
such a
reasonable.
high way to protect yourself, then go ahead. But if you're prepping all these like this huge militarization of the police force
Yeah.
just in case, then I don't think that's acceptable because it's eating to the problem really.
Well, it's regional. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, to an extent, there's predictability. So when they're doing it just in case, that's really we know shit's gonna go down, and we're making ourselves prepared. Like if they're going
Yeah.
to a drug bust, if they like found a dealer or some big supplier of meth and it's coming up from like Colombia or something and they know a deal's going down and they've like done the whole stakeout and everything,
Hmm.
they decide to load up with like a pad and like the DEA comes and everyone's getting ready. It's not really aiding to the cause. It's like, or these
No,
guys are
yeah, no,
drug
that's
lords
totally
and
different.
they're like,
That is definitely
yeah.
just.
Yeah, and I'm sure this has been a problem for the DEA. Like, where's the line between like cruel and unusual punishment and like, well, we're trying to protect society from drug lords with AKs who will stop at nothing to move profit. So it's like I don't feel really bad if they're like, okay, well, like, yeah, it's like, oh, I don't want to shoot him. Well, it's like, would you rather he shoot a toddler or like go on a killing spree or like shoot up a school? Like opportunity cost applies to
Really,
everything.
really, you're gonna bring opportunity costs
Yes,
into
it applies
this?
to everything here. All right,
Oh my god.
like I don't like I
Really?
do think a lot of times policemen are just kind of dicks about it. Like, oh yeah, I have power. You don't. I'm gonna abuse it. You know, like I'm sure that
Yeah.
happens
Yeah,
all the
I agree.
time. I'm sure it's terrible because there's so many laws that are up to police discretion. So I'm sure they abuse it and manipulate things all the time. But in South Central, anywhere in LA, New York, Chicago, Philly, Detroit, all those places, oh yeah, I want them heavy. I want them heavy duty. Like any place where they're moving like drugs, high crime rates, like oh yeah, I want police protecting me.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
God. I don't have to worry about it. But
Yeah. All right. I'm thinking we transition to another topic.
ooh,
Um, this kind of is right up my alley, being a movie guy.
ooh.
The interview. What is your
Oh.
response to so let me. I'm not sure. This kind of just came out today, so I'm not sure if you've heard it, and I'll just say it in case. But so obviously, a lot of people have heard that Sony pulled the interview. They weren't going to show
Yeah.
it in theaters, and because of the huge hacks from North Korea onto Sony Pictures Entertainment. But they just released that they now are going to release the interview in certain specified viewing areas. Like it's going to be like a really limited release. Because I mean, they did spend $40 million on this
Yeah.
movie, so I
Yeah.
can kind of understand that they want to release it.
Oh yeah.
At the same time, like what you could do is you could release it on video on demand and kind of be done with it. Like you could try to recoup some savings from that. You wouldn't make the full $40 million. You definitely wouldn't make a profit. But would you want to just go video on demand, take the safe route, and let it be? Or there's what they're doing right now, is doing this kind of limited release, and which kind of puts it. I have a lot of people. I know a lot of people that work in the business. They're like in the movie business, and people that actually work in the distributors, like actually in the movie theaters, and those people are scared. Like they're like, I don't want to show this on my theater. I don't want some extremist showing up and
Right. Yeah.
crazy shit. There's people that are freaked out.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, they're making death threats.
Mhm.
Like they say that we're gonna like go to any movie theater that shows it and bomb it or
Yeah,
something.
that's ridiculous.
All
I
right.
just can't
Like
wrap my
I.
head. So, but what do you think? What do you think is their should their Sony Pictures response be? Do you think they're doing the right thing, or what do you think?
I think fiscally speaking, they put so much money into it. I think they should show it just because they want to make some kind of profit. But really, I mean, like, I get that they're scared because North Korea actually, like, did something this time and hacked their whole thing, and I'm sure that's just really fucked everything. Like, this is some serious stuff. But how many times has North Korea made a hollow threat that they didn't follow up on?
Many
You
times.
know, like, I feel like this is our time. Like, I feel like if we're gonna liberate the people, the poor people that are brainwashed into poverty in North Korea, if we're gonna give them a chance, and for the future generations, that we should almost show this movie, like mass show this movie, just to kind of get their goat and be like, all right, North Korea, show some backbone and be like, all right, dude, like, we're tired of you brainwashing people and acting like you're God, like you're crazy and you're a psychopath and you like genocide, like, and you're a terrible person, like up yours. I feel like we should just show it, like, just to get his goat. Like, we've gotten pissed now. That's funny.
Yeah, see, right now, that's what a lot of people are criticizing Sony and the United States for, is they're kind of giving into terrorist demands and saying, like,
Yeah.
well, we're kind of losing here. Like, they did a really easy internet threat. Like, they hacked Sony Pictures, which, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like, oh, it's the hardest thing to hack. And, I mean, I don't know how to do it, so I can't be talking really, but
Yeah, no idea.
apparently it wasn't that hard to do this, and so
They've
I
had this. They've had this problem before.
yeah, and so I feel like on one end, sure, it's not the greatest thing that they're giving into terrorist demands, and it's kind of setting a precedent, like, hey, this is an easy thing to do. Let's just hack whoever we don't like, and they won't do what we don't want them to do, basically. But it's also, you're kind of trying to think about the public safety for this, and I don't know, it's kind of a teeter-totter and it's a balance. You don't really know what to do. I think that I like the fact that they're still doing a limited release. I mean,
Yeah, I want to see it.
one place that was going to do a double feature, and it was going to be Interview for the first part, and then Team America, which is basically claymation, a big
I
effort
remember
to
that.
North Korea.
That was a
which
great movie. Yeah, I remember that.
America,
I mean, at this point, like, I feel like the amount of hype that was to see the interview was maybe at like 20% of people gave a crap about it, but now it's like 80% of people give a
exactly.
crap
Like,
about
a lot
it.
of people are just like, "Oh my God, this is a crazy thing. Let's go check it out."
So now I feel like they kind of have an obligation to show it because the hype is so big and they wouldn't want to let us down.
Mm-hmm.
So now I feel like, I mean, I think, well, yeah, sure, but, it's a little ridiculous to think, oh, yeah, they're just going to fly in, like, I mean, they aren't exactly a country known for bombing movie theaters or bombing anything in general. I kind of think that that's just, them saying, like, oh, yeah, this really is offensive to us, but I think we show it anyway. They'll be fine.
It's one of those things, like, wow, they can shoot a missile. It's going to land in their front yard, but they can still shoot a missile.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, they hacked Sony, but, like, and Sony, like, that's not exactly the world's biggest hacking accomplishment, seeing as how, like, PSN has gone down a few times before in the past. Like, I mean, it'd be different. I mean, like, it's really bad. It's some scary shit, but I think it's just, like, it's kind of like, all right, let him bitch for a little bit, and then, like, the water will simmer. We wait it out a little bit, and then show the movie, and he'll be butthurt like always, but he won't care anymore. Right? Yeah, like a screaming toddler. Like, we'll let him, be all angry and for a little minute, and then give him a pacifier, and he'll be okay. I feel like it's just like, this is like the first really, like, in a long time, this is the first big attack or like makes him look negative or something, which it really doesn't, because it's just a movie about taking him out. Like, it doesn't make him look that bad.
It's
like
a movie about him.
No, but it's not like the whole movie they're saying, oh, he's ugly and fat. It's just like, oh, this is the man you're going to kill. And then the whole movie is about the funny shenanigans they're getting into, trying to figure out how they're going to take him out, Like,
but they do kind of portray him in, like, a really poor light. Like, he's kind of a bumbling
Dude, he's a
idiot.
psychopath.
True.
That guy's
I'm not defending him. Don't worry. I'm not defending him.
yeah, I mean, the guy's a sociopath. Like, but I just feel like he saw that movie and he was like, huh, well, they're picking on me. I have to defend myself or else I drop down on the totem pole. So
Yeah.
I feel like just to prove that he's got cojones, he was like, all right, well, I'll do something minor, just to
Yeah,
stir the
this is
pot a
true.
little
It's like
bit, but
they didn't
nothing
do
to get
anything.
into an international scandal.
They didn't do anything too crazy. They released a couple interviews, so now
Yeah.
some people or emails, sorry. So now some people are like, "Oh wow, that person bitched to me behind my back." Like,
Yeah.
I'm so sad. Like, sure, there's a little bit of feud, but it's kind of like it's Hollywood drama. Like, who really gives a shit?
Yeah, it's like political theater,
He
like.
basically just did TMZ's work for them. So,
Yeah. He was like, oh
congratulations,
yeah,
Kim Jong
right.
Un.
It's kind of like we've had this back and forth with
No,
North
I
Korea
know.
for a long time. Like they
Yeah.
say shit, we say shit. They spy, we try to spy. Like nothing severe has really happened. It's not like they've captured some American tourists and held them in prison or like start executing people. It's like they did. Like, all right, they got past Sony's firewall and did a little damage, and then they'll just recode, boot back up. They'll be fine. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that happens on the internet all the time. I mean, if any programmer knows, it's not too hard to get IP address like that stuff. You can find people's IP addresses on things as easy as Skype. I feel like it's just like him saying, "Oh yeah, I gotta show the world I've got balls." So I'll do something minorly scandalous, but nothing major.
Minorly scandalous.
Yeah. Ooh, scandal. Degrassi. Ooh. Girl talk. Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to wrap it up for this episode?
You want to do one more topic or wrap it up?
I think we can call it this episode.
All right. Okay, well, that has been Happy Hour at Shenanigans, Season 2, Episode 1. We hope you guys enjoyed. We had a good live audience today. I mean, we didn't have the hugest. We used to have 150 live audience. We're starting off on a new channel, so it's understandable. I mean, we're not going to have the hugest audience, but, it's going to build. This was kind of a impromptu show, if you will. We were supposed to start at 8:30, and then we kind of didn't. And then, we're just kind of working out the kinks now, getting back into the groove. We'll probably do one more over winter break. If you want to find out when there's going to be another one, please follow Cineffect Media. That's CINEFFECT space media on Facebook, and we'll probably get the Happy Hour Shenanigans Facebook page up and running sometime soon. But right now we do not have it, but it will get there. It will get there. But as always, I'm Nick.
And I'm Riley.
And
Alright,
that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching.
yeah, have a good night.